Hi, John from Peach here, and today we've got the pleasure of having Joey Landreth with us.
Hey guys.
Who's this guy over on the right hand side?
No one knows.
No one knows. You know, Joel's been in a couple of videos, hiding in the background, doing a few little bits of guitar playing, but seeing as though Joel's our resident slide maestro, we thought we'd pull him in. No pressure now for you, Joel.
It's low standard. It's very
yeah, that's fine. No problems. So we've got Joey here. We've got a Masterclass event that we're putting on in association with Reunion Blues Gig Bags. But we thought we'd just get Joey in here to play through my beautiful amp, which was probably inspired, but well, it was. I saw your one and just thought I want that finish, basically. So that's a 2-rock Bloomfield drive. We're gonna get Joey to do some playing, go through some of his pedals, and just let's just chat about gear and stuff. So, but obviously you've been over on your tour. How's the tour been for you so far?
It's been great. Yeah. It's I love coming over here. You guys are very nice to me. Yeah. So it's been a great run. Finished in Ashington on the 13th. Yeah. And it's been so good and successful that we're already planning the next one. So I'll be back sort of early next year.
Brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. When the weather's really starting to get cold. But I guess you're used to it. There's no problems for you. Yeah. No worries.
Nothing on what I'm used to.
No, exactly. So we've got pretty full pedal board with a few nice little nuggets and some bits and pieces that we stock, like the Duellist overdrive from Jesse Davey at Kingtone. How did you come to sort of find out about that pedal?
The Duellist was a friend of mine. I lived in Toronto for 3.5 years, and I made friends with this guy named Dave McLaren, and he's a guitar geek extraordinaire, and we just connected over at one of my shows over gear, and he said, you got to try this pedal out. And I plugged it in. I'd been using the Analog Man King of Tone, which is a great 2-channel overdrive. But I plugged into Jesse's and was like, oh man, that's really quite special.
It's got a lot more output, hasn't it, as well?
It's got more output, and I think just like the sort of, well, I mean, I still use my King of Tone a lot, so it's not really one over the other, but it's just voiced really well for sort of plug in and go.
It does certainly matches up well through these amps as well.
It does, yeah. Although I mean, with the Bloomfield drive section, I don't tend to use the overdrive pedal as much. Like when I'm running into a clean amp, I'll have it on this channel, pretty much on all
the
night
heavy
long.
hand one,
yeah, okay. and then
use that one to boost it
with the string singer. But when I'm using something like the Bloomfield, then I usually leave that off and just hit it with the tube screamer side or string
just the boost side. Yeah, that's what I've found that since I got this, you know, when I use that second channel, almost just want something cleaner just to push the front end a little bit harder. Yeah, because it's, you know, the Duellist sounds killer into the clean channel, but
it really does. Yeah. But yeah, that dirt channel is pretty spectacular as well. So yeah, but then I got in touch with Jesse and just said, hey, I got to get one of these, and also ordered one of his fuzz pedals. Yeah, and and I'm a big fan of his. I mean, I think anybody who's familiar with me and my music knows what a geek I am about fuzz pedals these days. So, and I've got
you have his octave pedal as well.
I do. Yeah. The Octaland is phenomenal. Yeah. He's just, you know, I think he's one of those pedal builders who is also a really phenomenal guitar player. Yeah. And so when he builds something, it just makes sense in the hands of a player, you know. Yeah.
Well, so gigs years ago that we used to do, I used to. When we used to support the Hoax, I'd see him kind of with the, the chassis out of one of the amps, like, changing the bias, like right before, they're about to go on stage, and messing around and tweaking, doing some soldering on his guitar and all that kind of stuff in the back of the van. Yeah. And he used to do that thing of, they'd run a mic out of like into the venue, into like the van, and he'd have an amp like ambiently mic'd, like or in the bathroom of the venue, just mic'd up in there to get that big room sound to come through the PA. So he's a crazy weird tone man. There's a really awesome video on YouTube of the Hoax playing, where they're actually in that room and you see him walk up to the stage, and then you can see the whole band playing, because all you can hear is Jesse's guitar to start with. It's like a quad reverb or the Super 6, like absolutely flat out, and you just hear this awesome guitar playing, and then it heads up to the stairs and the whole band's playing. It's really cool.
Oh my God. And so he had an amp on stage
as well? He had all of his other amps as well, but just this one downstairs ambiently mic'd as well.
Because he used to use like four or five amps at a time and everything.
Oh my God, what a madman!
Yeah.
See, I don't really know like a lot of the legend that is Jesse Davey. I've always just sort of known him as a pedal builder.
Yeah.
You know, and so everybody that I know that knows him, you know, from his days with the Hoax are like, yeah, man, that guy's a real deal.
Yeah.
So it's so fun, and he's so humble and soft spoken that you know, when you hear him play, it's great.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. Why don't you give us a blast? Let's hear how this bad boy sounds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is just the amp. There you go. Sounds really good like that. Just kidding. So that's just sort of the
like dirty clean type.
Dirty clean, yeah. And I ride the volume a lot on the guitar, so you know the volume and the tone. Little slap back. You can tell. I don't know. There's no camera there, but this stomp box says "slap" with an exclamation mark on it, just so you know what's going on.
Are these like a hand-wound P90 pickup in there, particular brand, or?
These are throwbacks.
Oh, sounds beautiful.
And the cool thing about this guitar was made by a dear friend of mine, Alex Sorokin, and we were trying to get it as close to, I was telling you earlier about a 54 Les Paul that I played in Nashville that was all gold like this one.
Yeah, it didn't make many like that with the all gold, did they?
They did not make many. Yeah. No, I don't know exactly how many, but not a lot.
No.
Just love the feel of it and the vibe. It's just one of those, like, you know, you've played old guitars.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're amazing and sometimes they're not great. But this one was just, I couldn't stop playing it. Yeah. So, but of course I couldn't afford it because I'm not independently wealthy. So I approached him and said, you know, what would it take to get you to build one of these? And he doesn't actually, I was also telling you earlier, he doesn't take orders. He builds guitars out of just therapy for himself.
He's like the Dumble of the guitar world.
Yeah, so, but it had just kind of come at the right time where he had just started checking out my music, and he had been wanting to build an all gold wrap tail, and so it was like a mixture of like, you know, liking my music, and then also I made the right request for the right guitar.
It came at the right time.
So then he's the kind of guy where, like, you know, the switch tip is made from Catalan rod that he found that's from the 50s.
Right.
So it's the right material. He like digitally measured, so it's the right shape. The whole thing is like when I got the guitar, the hang tag is hung with the same string printed on the same paper. Like the guy is.
I appreciate that level of geekery.
Yeah. So when we were talking about the pickups, Throwback has all those old Kalamazoo machines, the winders, and so he said, "Hey, this is the serial number of this guitar. What machine likely would have wound these?" And they said, well, this machine, and we have it. So he actually had the pickups wound on the same machine that the original 54 that I felt. So it's just like
seem pretty low kind of output.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
Really sweet.
Yeah, it like the bridge pickup itself is. I mean, you can't quite tell. It's almost like, you know, especially if it cleans up a little bit, it's almost like a telly pickup.
Yeah. It's got the spank.
Yeah, and then the neck pickup is just sweet. Yeah, so they're just they sort of sound the way they should.
Was that with the Duellist on?
No, that's just the amp. Here's with the Duellist. I like the Duellist, especially also paired with a fuzz pedal.
It's still it's not kind of blowing itself out. It's all still kind of held together pretty well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's also part of the magic of what Jesse does is he knows a lot about those. Like when I first got the fuzz pedal, the one knob guy, I kind of got it and was like, oh shit, I don't know. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Can we say that on this?
Of course.
I kind of thought, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I called him and said, yeah, I really like it, but it's a little. And he said, okay, here's what you got to do. You got to pair it with try it into an overdrive.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew like Octavias were
yeah.
Are pretty sensitive to which pickup you're using,
Yeah.
where you pick and stuff like that. But fuzz faces are also pretty temperamental as well.
Yeah.
And the second that you touch the volume knob, the whole sort of ecology of the pedal changes. The whole thing is different. So he had said, put it on the bridge pickup and then experiment. And it went, oh, now I understand.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing about the Duellist is it just pairs so well with any fuzz pedal.
It just softens it up a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Any fuzz pedal that I run into there, it just makes it kind of better. And I mean, the idea being that it just kind of smooths out some of the harsh ends and sort of controls it. But I was playing as though the fuzz pedal was on. I was like, wow, that is really clean, actually.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not right. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Which fuzz is that you're using?
That is the Dan Drive, actually.
Okay.
I've got my own signature fuzz pedal, but I took it off the board because I can't even use my own fuzz pedal for too long before getting bored. Cause
well, look, all these pedals we've got floating around here and everywhere. We're just like, you get set, don't you, like what we all do, and then you're like, here comes revision 7.63.
Yeah. Oh man, and I mean, like the fuzz pedal that I did with Mythos it's killer and creamy and does all the right things, but at the end of the day, I like to use different things all the time, and I mean, even on this tour, I took the Duellist off and put something else on. I've got a bunch of different pedals in my guitar case. It is like, and tonight I'm going to use this one.
Yeah.
You react to it in a different way, don't you? Just by chucking a different pedal on.
100%.
Particularly with fuzzes and overdrives, you're going to play differently.
Oh man. I'm the kind of like I really like to play with the controls of the guitar, and so every pedal is going to have it's going to behave a little bit differently, and I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I feel something, I feel the pedal reacting in a certain way, it's going to inspire me to do something.
Yeah, you play on that kind of.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's why I love playing guitar, because it's just like a creative outlet.
And plus, I guess when you're coming out on tour, you might not necessarily know what amp you're going to be using. I mean, obviously you had the 2-Rock from us to use, so you got that good. You know what kind of the benchmark is going to be. But if you're hiring backline, some fuzzes or some overdrives can just be awful, can't they, for specific amps? So.
Oh yeah. That's definitely a thing. So.
No, it's sounding pretty fat. Joel, have you got any questions about slide stuff or anything like that? Since you're a resident slide guy.
Yeah, I mean, basically, how do you do it as good as you do? No, I mean, I've
in 30 seconds.
No, I have no friends.
Yeah.
No.
So you're an open C?
Yeah.
C?
Yeah. So some slightly out of tune variation of it. Oh mercy. Yes. So yeah, open C. 151 351, which is the same as I think Dwayne Allman used open E.
Yeah.
And same intervals, and Derek Trucks and Rye Cooter uses it as well. Is another one of my heroes.
Yeah, I've used open G mainly is what I kind of found myself going towards. But there's a couple of songs we do where I've experimented in open D. It would be.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, and then I just get to a point and I kind of lose where I am because I'm so familiar with open G that you get to kind of like the what would be the D and the G string, and you think, and then you hit the wrong one, and you think, and it's just
exactly the same thing that happens with me when I go the other way. One of my favorite guys is Lowell George.
Yeah.
And he famously used open A.
Open A, yeah.
And so like, if you want to sound like Lowell George, tune a Stratocaster into open A, and it's almost instant. Well, obviously,
no, but
it's not instant, but it's a good place to start. Yeah. But yeah, the open tunings are really, really, really fun.
So I'm guessing because you're playing quite a lot of just standard licks over, which to me is just completely, I can bluff a bit of a solo in open tuning, but kind of some of the stuff that you're playing it's the same as
I didn't have a clue what tuning you was in, and I thought, is that kind of like more of just like a drop D type sort of thing? Because you was playing like open string type sort of stuff as well, so you've befuddled me as well.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm a little lie down.
And is that something that you kind of just decided that was your favourite, or did you go between a few different tunings and stuff?
Well, I mean, I struggled. I initially started playing slide and standard tuning like a lot of people do, and I just started experimenting with open E because a lot of my favorite players were playing in open E, and there's certain sounds that you can't really. You can fake, but you can't quite get, and so I started messing around with it for that reason. But I had a hard time because it was like, well, I had an SG. Of course, I had a 61 SG reissue like Derek's.
Yeah.
And I bought that because, well,
why not?
Yeah, and that was my slide guitar. But then I also really liked it for like straight ahead rock gigs, and so it was like, well, this doesn't make any sense. And so then my Strat became my slide guitar, and I just didn't want to have a slide guitar. I wanted to have guitars. That I could play whatever on. And so I just started entertaining the idea of sort of putting it together. And it's kind of been a little bit of my life's work, to be honest, like little by little. I'm now at the point where I'm much more comfortable here. If you give me a guitar in standard tuning, I can still play it, but I'm not necessarily really comfortable creating. So this is kind of my home base, but I'm very much I think intervallically. So for me, everything is I'm always relating things back to the chord changes, and so if I'm thinking in terms of in the key of F here, the easiest major triad, this would be like in standard tuning, that chord shape is like this. So I know this is root third and fifth. So if I wanted to play a minor pentatonic around that, then I would have to have root flat third, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. So it's even though it's a minor and totally different kind of beast, I'm relating it back to those the major triad. So it's always about kind of coming back to there and then mapping out the inversions. That's kind of in a nutshell the sort of approach to it. I'm a nerd and I have no friends.
No. So what's the for guys and gals that can't attend our what is it called tonight? Masterclass.
Yes.
What kind of stuff can we expect to see tonight? Are you going to be kind of like taking some questions and answers and that kind of stuff, playing for a few tunes?
Absolutely. I what I usually do is I'll start by playing like 10 or 20 minutes of music.
Yeah.
Like basically 2 or 4 songs, and then just open the thing up. It's totally like. The most fun for me is just having people ask questions, and sometimes the questions are, "Can you play this song?" And I'm like, "Sure, I can." Yeah. And then what were you thinking about when you're playing that lick?
Or you get the real wise guys that try and outfox you, and then you have the perfect answer. You shut them down.
Which is usually, "Shut up!"
Yeah. And you're like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool, right, well, the time is pressing on now. Why don't you play us out with some sweet licks, and we'll get ready for the session tonight.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. There you go. Bit of a Canadian boogie there.
That's right.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.